So if I'm a contact center executive and I'm listening to you and I feel, you're touching on some pain points that I realize are happening in my business. And I ask you the question, okay, how do I get started? How do I adjust my mindset, my team's mindset to be better equipped to network and sell and effectively communicate, whether it's a C-level or to my peers? How do I get started? Is the key first thing understanding what exactly is your value proposition overall to the business?
If you don't have a value proposition to the business, if you don't have one that's solid, that you can speak and it flows off your tongue, then it's hard to get started. So you need to spend a little time just identifying the value you can bring to the organization. Once you understand that, and then test it. Test it with some trusted peers. What have they done? How did they sell their advantage to the executives? I mean, most people are very willing to share and talk, but we are of the opinion, a lot of us, that if we ask for assistance, then it makes us look weak. But in reality, what it makes you look like is that you're inquisitive. You have a thirst for knowledge. Not that you're weak, it's that you're trying to expand your horizons. So I think many people take the wrong tactic to this, and what they do is they sort of shut down versus starting to expand. So if they start talking to peers, they'll soon understand what was successful for them. They'll soon be able to test out their own value proposition statement. And then I always tell people, like if you have to go once a year to sell for new equipment, new technology, money to operate, I'm always of the opinion, go and visit the people you need to see 2 or 3 times before you ask them for anything. And ask them quite simply, when I come to make a presentation, what are the key things that you need to know? And you'd be surprised how many people will just tell you. There's very few people who would say, well, it's up to you, you have to guess. They don't do that. They'll tell you, I need to see a return on investment. I need to see the advantage to the corporation. I need to see, and they'll just list them for you. It is not that difficult.
Do you think that contact centers internally or have created the ability to actually align themselves with the strategic objectives of the overall organization? They may understand them because they've read them, but do you think that contact centers are able to demonstrate that they're aligned with those strategic objectives, and B, that they're able to articulate that out?
Well, I think everybody can read either their corporate annual review or the statements of the president, and they can quickly identify, okay, there's what the president wants to do. But a lot of times those are fairly broad, generic statements. And it's sometimes very hard to understand, how you play a role in that. So if you're an executive in a call center, you might be able to understand that, if I deliver good value, keep my expenses low, et cetera, that I will drive good value to the corporation. The problem is, as you go farther down the chain, all the way down perhaps even to the agent level, who just understands that they're either answering the phone, handling chat, doing web services, calling out to people, soliciting. So they know only this little tiny piece of their business. And too often, we don't share with the people who are in the trenches exactly what the purpose of the business is. And I think that if we could, in fact, do that a little better, and it all is about just communication. And some people are really good at it, some people aren't. I've seen executives that are not very good at messaging. So what they do is they find a subordinate to them who is really good at delivering messages. And you just sort of get in sync with them. Those who are very approachable, I always used to do, breakfast with Stan, where I got to meet with the employees, and they could tell me head on what their issues were, what their challenges were. And that was a great opportunity for me to understand the decisions I was making, how it was impacting them. And that also gave me ammunition that when I went up the line, I could talk with absolute certainty about what I knew I could do with the business.